For this lesson, we are going to make a dice on OnShape. It's going to look like this. Okay. So I got my helpful document over here that I'm going to give you guys. So the first thing you need to do is log into OnShape, create a document, name it dice, and put your initials at the end. Okay. I have mine right here. I'm going to start a new tab right here to show you guys how to do it. Okay. So after you're logged in, you're going to make your base sketch. You're going to make a 0.63 by 0.63 rectangle. It's going to be a center point rectangle that starts at the origin. So sketch on the front plane. We're going to look from the front. I'm going to my center rectangle. Center rectangle is going to make your life easier later, especially if you started at the origin. Drag it out. 0.63, enter. 0.63, enter. Okay. So it's a perfect square right now. I'm going to rename it my base sketch. I'm going to close that out. So we got that step on. Next up, we're going to extrude the base sketch by 0.63. It should be a new extrude and symmetric. We're going to name it base extrude and hit the check mark. So extrude. What are we extruding? The thing we made. We want it to be a perfect cube, so 0.63. And make sure that you turn on symmetric right here so that it's going to make your job easier later. Okay, so I'm going to turn on symmetric. I'm going to name this my base extrude. And there's my check mark. So we have like the outline of the cube right here. Next up, we need to chamfer the edges to make them rounded. Okay, so we're going to use this chamfer tool. We're going to make the chamfer at 0.02 equal distance, and then we need to select every edge of the cube, then green check mark. So chamfer is right there. Now make sure you click every edge. So one. Make sure you already have 0.02 right there. If you have like a big number, you're going to get an error. Okay, so go ahead and put 0.02. Then make sure you're selecting every edge of it. All right, looks like I got them all. So I hit my check mark. And now I got a chamfer edge for all of those. Next up, now we're going to start putting our numbers on them. And we're going to do them one at a time on a whole bunch of different sketches. The point of today's lesson is the two new tools that you will learn to focus on is the point tool and the hole tool. So we're going to put our number 1, and this is probably going to be the easiest one. So I'm going to go to my front view. I'm going to hit sketch. I'm going to select the front of the object we've made. And my point tool is right there. Click right there. I'm just going to place a point right here at the origin. Can't even really see it. But make sure you put it there, okay? I'm going to name it 1. Then I'm going to hit my check mark. So that whole sketch, that dot right there is what we're going to use to drill our holes later. Okay? Now, I'm going to make my 2. Okay? I'm going to use the right side. You can use different sides if you want. Okay? I'm going to go over here on the right. Right view. Sketch on that. And now you need to put a dot in the top right and a dot in the bottom left. So point, put it up there, put one down here. Now you're going to use the dimension tool right there. And you're going to make sure that this is 0.1 away from that edge. And 0.1 away from that edge. Okay. Bring that way in. That's annoying. Okay, so it's 0.1 away from this one, and it's 0.1 away from that one. All right, now we're going to do the same thing with this one over here. Dimension tool between this dot and the edge should be 0.1. Between the dot and the edge over here, we're going to make that 0.1. We're going to rename this number 2. Hit our check mark. So we have a point right there that we can use later, and a point right there we can use. Now we're going to move on to the 3. I'm going to use the top side. So I'm going to move to the top view, sketch on the top of that. And now for 3, we're going to do basically the same thing we did before, but I'm going to use the top left, bottom right, and then we're going to put one at the origin again. So point, I might as well do the easy one first. Put the one right there, put one right there, and put one right there. Dimension tool, that one to there should be 0.1. Okay, then we're going to put that to that. Should also be 0.1. Okay, for some reason it put it over there, so I'm going to put a negative 0.1 just to flip the side on it. There we go. Now it's 0.1 the other way. So if it ever goes the wrong direction, if you put the negative in front of it, it'll change it to 0.1 the other way. Okay, now I'm going to put my dot back in here, use my dimension from here to here is going to be 0.1. From here to here is also going to be 0.1. So I got dot there, there, and there. I'm going to rename this number 3, and I'm going to hit my check mark. All right, now we're going to do number 4, and you can do it kind of like how I just did it, or I'm going to show you a way to save a lot of time right here on the hint, okay? So I'm going to use the bottom, so bottom view, sketch on that. I'm going to place 1 point up here in the top left, and use my dimension from that edge to there, should be 0.1. Then I'm going to go from here to here, make it 0.1. Now I'm going to save myself some time, and I'm going to use the mirror tool. Mirror. Where is my mirror going to be? This line right here. And then I'm going to click on that dot. So we got one of these down here. See? It's 0.1 just like the others, and I didn't even have to type it in there, right? So then after you have your mirror tool to go from here to here, you're going to mirror it again. Mirror. This time you're going to go to the up and down line, and you're going to click on that one. Look, there showed up. And then you're going to click on that one, and then that shows up. So you got 4 points. Okay, so I'm going to rename this number 4, and I'm going to hit my check mark. Number 5, I'm going to do the same exact thing I just did, and then add one in the center. So I'm going to use the left side of the one. So I'm going to go left view, start my sketch over here. I'm going to go to my point tool, put a point in here, dimension it, 0.1 away from the top, 0.1 away from the side, use my mirror tool, mirror, put the mirror here, click on the dot, so I got the one right there. Now I'm going to select the mirror tool again, put the mirror here, and I'm going to put one on that side, and then I'm going to put one right to there. Then don't forget I need to add the point right in the middle for the 5, okay? So now I have dot, 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 and dot. Rename this one 5, hit my check mark. All right, we only have one left. So step 10, I'm going to go on the back of it, and I'm going to write my 6 of them. Make my 6 of them. So back view, sketch on that. All right, I am going to focus on the right side, so I'm going to put a dot over here, and then I'm going to make sure that you try to constrain it against it. So I'm going to put a dot right there, and then I'm going to follow that constraint down again. Okay, so now they're all vertically constrained against one another. If you don't do that, you can always use the vertical tool right there also, but it's easier to just do it right the first time. So the first thing I'm going to do next is dimension them correctly. So this should be 0.1 away from the edge. It should be 0.1 away from the top edge. So we had the first dot up here in the right place. Now we're going to dimension the top dot to the bottom dot, and that is going to be 0.35. 0.35. Now we're going to dimension one last one. So we're going to put this to this one, and we're going to put 0.35. Oops, 0.35 divided by 2, and that's going to be 0.175, so it's right between the middle of those two dots. Okay, there is another way you could have done that. You could have used the midpoint tool right here to put it in the middle, but while I was using the dimension tool, it was just faster for me to do it that way. Okay, so I have this dot was 0.1 away from each edge. Then I dimensioned this one 0.35 from that one, and then I dimensioned this one here in the middle. Now I just need a 3 over here. So instead of doing all that again, mirror tool, I'm going to put the mirror, the vertical line right there. Then I'm going to select that. I'm going to select that. And I'm going to select the bottom one. So now I got 6 dots on here. I'm going to rename it 6. I'm going to hit my check mark. So I have all of my points everywhere on here that I need to make. Now I just need to turn them into holes. Okay. So step 11, we're going to select the hole tool right there. And I'm going to go ahead and make all my settings first. Okay. So I'm going to have it drilled number 24 at 0.152. Yep. That's what I used before. My diameter, I'm going to make 0.12. So 0.12. I'm going to start on the part. I'm going to bind. And I'm going to have a 0.033. Yep. My tip is 118. It's close to round. It's round. It's close enough for this. Okay. So there I have all my settings. Now all I have to do is select the things I need to do. So I'm just going to click on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See how it already did those? That's so much easier than pressing all 21 dots we've made. Okay. So I'm going to hit my check mark. And now it's pretty much done. Only thing I'm going to do, I'm going to right click over here on the part. I'm going to say edit appearance. I'm going to go to mixer, drop it up here all the way in the top left. Okay, so it's pretty much wide as it can be. Or I can just put 255 on all of these. So then I'm going to hit my check mark. So now I have a white cube, but you know, cubes have black dots most of the time inside of it. So what I'm going to do next is go over here to my hole right here where I made that. Right click. I'm going to say add appearance to just that feature, which is all 21 holes. And I'm going to select one of the black ones. I like the bottom left one, so I'm going to go with that. Check mark. I'm going to turn my planes off. I'm going to go to isometric view. And ta-da, I have a completed dice. So that's it. Make sure you take your screenshot, turn it in on canvas, and you're done.